For the longest time, one of the biggest questions surrounding the AFP modernization program has been simple. Is Horizon 3 finally moving at full speed, or are these projects still stuck on paper? Well, we now have one of the clearest answers yet. The Department of National Defense has released its latest Procurement Monitoring Report for the first semester of this year. And hidden inside this document are major updates that reveal where some of the Philippines' biggest defense projects actually stand. From new air defense systems to major weapon upgrades for Philippine Navy warships, new self-propelled artillery, additional surveillance radars, and even electronic warfare capabilities, there are signs that several long-awaited projects are quietly advancing behind the scenes. But perhaps the biggest surprise is an update involving the Philippine Air Force's ground-based air defense system, where a notice of award has already been issued. Could this mean another layer of missile defense is finally coming? Let's break down everything we know. The Procurement Monitoring Report, or PMR, may not receive as much attention as contract signing ceremonies or equipment deliveries, but defense analysts know it is one of the most valuable government documents available. Why? Because it allows the public to track the actual progress of procurement projects. Instead of simply announcing plans, the report shows which projects are already in the bidding process, which ones have received a notice of award, which are still waiting for government approvals, and which require additional negotiations before contracts can be finalized. In many ways, it gives us a snapshot of the real status of AFP modernization. And this latest report contains several interesting developments. Let's begin with one of the biggest priorities of the Philippine Air Force, the ground-based air defense system. According to the report, the project already has a notice of award issued on July 21st. At first glance, that sounds like excellent news. However, one important question remains unanswered. Is this meant for an additional ground-based air defense system, or is it connected to an earlier procurement requirement? The report itself does not clearly specify. Nevertheless, reaching the notice of award stage means the procurement has already progressed significantly. If this turns out to be an additional air defense package, it would represent another important layer in protecting Philippine airspace. Modern air defense is no longer considered optional. With increasing regional tensions and the growing importance of protecting military bases, radar installations, and critical infrastructure, missile defense has become one of the AFP's highest priorities. Another major project involves additional air defense surveillance radar systems valued at nearly 15 billion pesos. Unlike missile launchers, surveillance radars serve as the eyes of an integrated air defense network. Without reliable radar coverage, even advanced missile systems become far less effective. The report says the terms of reference are currently being finalized. That means the project is moving closer toward formal procurement. Combined with existing radar systems already acquired over the past few years, additional long-range surveillance capability would significantly improve the country's ability to detect aircraft, drones, and potentially even certain types of missiles much earlier. Earlier detection means more reaction time. And in modern warfare, reaction time often determines success or failure. Speaking of integration, another project worth watching is the Air Defense Management System. This project carries an estimated value of more than 4 billion pesos. Its current status shows it is awaiting the issuance of a security implementing arrangement with Japan. That may sound like a simple administrative requirement, but it is actually very important. An air defense management system acts as the brain of an integrated air defense network. Instead of having radars, missile launchers, command centers, and communication systems operating independently, everything becomes connected into one coordinated system. Information collected by one radar can immediately be shared with multiple units. Threats can be tracked faster, decisions can be made quicker, and interception becomes much more effective. If implemented successfully, this would represent another major step toward a truly networked Philippine air defense capability. Moving to the Philippine Navy, several high-value upgrade projects are also making progress. One of them is the JRCF Weapons and Sensor System Upgrade Project worth more than 5 billion pesos. According to the report, approval of the notice of award is currently ongoing. Although specific details remain limited, the project is expected to improve the combat effectiveness of existing naval assets through upgraded weapons and sensors. Better sensors allow ships to detect threats earlier. Improved weapons increase engagement capability. Together, they significantly enhance survivability during combat operations. Another important naval project involves the Corvette weapons and sensor systems upgrade. This includes surface-to-air missiles and 35mm ammunition. The combined project value exceeds 8 billion pesos. According to the report, specifications are currently being amended. That means adjustments are still being made before procurement proceeds. While this may appear to slow the process, revising technical specifications can actually help ensure that the final system better matches operational requirements. Instead of rushing procurement, the D&D appears to be refining the project's technical details first. That approach could produce better long-term results. The Philippine Army also received encouraging updates. The acquisition of one lot of 105mm Towed Howitzer systems is now expected to proceed through a government-to-government arrangement. Based on current developments, South Korea is widely considered the most likely partner. Government-to-government procurement often reduces procurement risks while improving transparency and delivery reliability. South Korea has already become one of the Philippines' closest defense partners, supplying various military platforms over recent years. If finalized, this project would further strengthen Army artillery capability while deepening defense cooperation between Manila and Seoul. Another artillery project drawing attention is the acquisition of 155mm self-propelled howitzers worth approximately 5.5 billion pesos. According to the report, procurement is awaiting the necessary implementing arrangement before moving forward. Although still pending, this project remains one of the Army's most anticipated modernization efforts. Unlike traditional towed artillery, self-propelled systems provide higher mobility, faster deployment, and improved survivability. They can quickly fire, relocate, and avoid enemy counter-battery attacks. That capability becomes increasingly valuable in modern high-intensity conflicts. The report also confirms progress on the acquisition of 60mm and 81mm mortars. The notice of award was issued in late June. While mortars may not attract as much attention as missiles or fighter aircraft, they remain among the most frequently used indirect fire support weapons on today's battlefield. They are relatively simple, highly mobile, and extremely effective in supporting infantry operations. Beyond these major procurements, several additional modernization efforts quietly appear in the report. Among them are the FA-50PH systems upgrade, which could further enhance the capabilities of the Philippine Air Force's light fighter fleet. There is also a counter-unmanned aerial system project, reflecting the growing importance of defending against drone threats. Electronic warfare enhancement is another notable project. Modern conflicts increasingly involve electronic attacks, jamming, cyber operations, and spectrum dominance. Improving electronic warfare capability gives commanders greater awareness while reducing an adversary's effectiveness. The report also lists the Night Fighting System Capability Development Project, Maritime Situational Awareness System Integration, the Philippine Air Force Presidential Airlift Project, and even the acquisition of a 3,600-ton floating dry dock. Although these projects receive less public attention, each addresses an important operational requirement that supports the AFP's overall readiness. So, what does this latest procurement monitoring report really tell us? First, Horizon 3 modernization is clearly moving forward, even if not every project receives media attention. Second, air defense continues to emerge as one of the government's highest priorities, with multiple projects advancing simultaneously, from surveillance radars and missile systems to command and control integration. Third, modernization is becoming broader in scope. It is no longer focused only on buying ships, aircraft, or artillery. The AFP is increasingly investing in sensors, electronic warfare, counter-drone capability, network integration, logistics infrastructure, and sustainment. These are exactly the supporting capabilities that modern armed forces need. Of course, many of these projects are still progressing through procurement, negotiations, or administrative approvals. Until contracts are fully signed and equipment begins arriving, delays remain possible. But compared to previous years, the overall picture appears much more encouraging. The latest procurement monitoring report suggests that the Philippines is steadily building not only a larger military, but a smarter, more connected, and more capable defense force prepared for the challenges of the future. The next few months will be critical, as several of these projects could move from paperwork into signed contracts and eventually into operational service. And when that happens, Horizon 3 modernization will move one step closer to becoming reality.